Peace. What's the word? What's happening, everybody? Hopefully, everybody's having a powerful, peaceful, productive Thursday. I'm gonna give y'all about 3 to 5 minutes to tap in with the kid before we start building on this subject matter, man. Let me know how y'all living and feeling on this wonderful Thursday. Y'all see the subject matter, man. This is like a piggyback off of the last stream that I did. Someone brought up this particular subject matter, and I promised that I would elaborate on it and make a stream about it. And here it is, man. But before we dive into it, let me know how y'all living and feeling, man, on this wonderful Thursday. What's the word? I see we got some people that already tapped in. True Seeker, boom. Blue Exodus, peace. What's happening? What's happening, everybody? What's the word, man? How this week been treating y'all, man? How this Thursday treating y'all? Y'all know how I go. I gotta tap in with y'all before I lose track of time and get the building and venting, man. Y'all let me know what's the word. CC, peace. What's happening, my good sister? What's the word? How we living and feeling? Kaleem, what's happening? What's the word? How everybody living? How everybody feeling on this wonderful Thursday, man? Tap in with the kid. Hopefully, y'all got about 45 minutes to an hour or so. Tap in, listen to the build, man, and take some jewels away from this particular stream, man. We got a lot to add on. You know, Moni, peace. What's happening for sure? Hey, hopefully all has been well with you, Moni. Or card, peace. What's happening? What's the word, man? How we living? How we feeling? How we living? How we feeling? Dominique, peace. What's happening? Hey, we already know what you doing. We already know you at one of the jobs. We already know. TZ, what's happening? Dominique, hey, the born day, it was all good. You already know what I pulled one of your numbers on the born day, man. I was working, training people all day, so that was good. You know me, I ain't asking for too much. I don't need to do too much. I'll be chilling. I ain't going too crazy. Salacious, what's happening? TZ, man, we can't talk to. The problem is, it's like yeah, we gonna dive into that. Because we just been programmed not to talk basically to anybody about what we got going on. You know what I'm saying? We've been taught to just keep it pushing. And I want to let folks know, just because we are keeping it pushing, just because we are solving problems, don't mean that the problems are not there. Don't mean that the suffering and the trauma and all that type of good stuff is not there. No matter how we pushing through something, no matter how tough we looking, sounding, and feeling, the suffering is still there, man. You know, just because you suppressed it doesn't mean that it's non-existent. And a lot of brothers got to realize that, man. A lot of brothers are suffering. A lot of brothers are walking around undiagnosed, man. We just got a lot of problems that haven't been diagnosed. And I ain't talking about diagnosed by these white folks, man, but we just got a lot of issues, man, a lot of problems. And a lot of us won't admit it. And that's why a lot of times I have a lot of problems communicating with other brothers, with other men, because you can't. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm part of that. It's hard to tell us anything. It's hard to tell a grown man anything, man. It's hard to tell a grown man. Like, we talk about that aspect when it comes to women, but we don't like to look in the mirror when it comes to that aspect of ourselves, in regards to listening, being open to new information and new perspectives, being able to just tell us something, and we are receptive to it. Nah, man. A lot of times, man, when you talking to another grown man, it goes in one ear and out the other, and you end up arguing, debating, or whatever the case may be. When it comes to just trying to have a constructive dialogue with another brother, you know, and that's because a lot of brothers, like, because a lot of us think we know everything, man. We think we got it all figured out. We don't want anybody else telling us anything, man. And that's a problem that we will never admit. Ain't no brother gonna come up and admit that that's a problem. Ain't no brother gonna come up and admit that he don't know it all, or he don't know something. A lot of brothers just have that problem, and we gotta stop that, fam. It's cool as a man to say you don't know something, you don't know how to do something, and you seeking out assistance and you seeking out help. Nothing is wrong with that, fam. Nothing is wrong with it. We got to understand that reality, man. There's nothing wrong with it as a man saying you don't know something, or seeking out guidance from another brother in regards to a topic or a service or whatever that they may be well versed in, or they may be an expert on. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. Daryl, peace. What's happening? you know, and boom. And again, that's what I'm talking about. Even sometimes when you talk to other men, like the conversation gets weird, you know? So a lot of times we say we can't talk to women, but a lot of times when we talk to other men, it's weird. You'll be surprised at when you get around a circle of brothers, you'll be surprised at how many of those brothers take what you said and go gossip behind your back, just like you say the women do. You'll be surprised. So a lot of your stuff isn't safe amongst the brothers either, because they turning around and gossiping just as much as some of the women are doing. You know what I'm saying? Like we claim that the women be walking around gossiping and all of that, man. But I know a lot of brothers that do that. I know a lot of brothers that do that, that'll take exactly what you just said, and you thought it was a safe space, and then next thing you know, everybody in the community knows that information that you shared with the bros in the barbershop. You know, now rumor has spread, courtesy of the barbershop talk. You know, so I've seen all of that. You know, at the end of the day, whether it be a man or a woman, man, you just got to vet people out before you share personal information with them. You know, that's just what you have to do to any and everybody. I'm not just going to quickly let my guards down because I'm around the bros thinking that it's safe. Nah. Like that information may be exposed just as fast as if I told this information to a woman or a circle of sisters. You know, because the barbershop is the equivalent of the salon. It's a lot of, you know, it's a lot of talk. It's a lot of things that get revealed and exposed in a barbershop, just like a salon. And some of them people, they go run and tell that. You know, I know a lot of brothers that did some pillow talk and then revealed some things that they should not have revealed. You know what I'm saying? I know a bunch of brothers that are guilty of gossiping and pillow talking and just revealing secret, like family secrets and all that type of stuff. Man, I know too many people. I know too many brothers that have been accused, not even accused. It has been proven that they have done these things. You know what I'm saying? So, like, nah, man, you just got to vet people out when you start sharing certain types of information and saying certain things around them, man. For real, Garrison, what's happening? Mr. Barbados, peace, what's happening? You know, and I say that to say, because a lot of us, we out here, we suffer, man. And every time I get flack from certain people when I say we traumatize, as if that's something that's feminine, you know, as if it's feminine for a brother to say men are traumatized or we are traumatized or I'm traumatized. Like saying you traumatized, it's not feminine, it's not soft, it's not like whatever the case may be. Saying you traumatized is just acknowledging the reality. It's like being injured. You know what I'm saying? When you play a sport, it's like I separated my shoulder. It's acknowledging the injury, man. And now you're gonna rehab the injury so you can come back at full strength and be a better version of yourself. So when you admit to being traumatized, nothing is soft about that. That's just admitting the truth. You are admitting that you went through something and it traumatized you. Now we got that out the way. Now we can take the steps to rehab and fix it. You know what I'm saying? Like people be getting weird, man. And that's why dudes have a hard time talking to dudes, because then they start telling you stuff like that. Oh, well, that's soft. Like, man, just because somebody said they traumatized, just because another dude said he traumatized, now we about to call him soft. You know, and again, we wonder why the black male population, when it comes to communication, we probably the worst, because no matter where we go, no matter where we turn to as far as communication, we get ridiculed, whether it's by our own brothers, whether it's by our sisters, whether it's by, you know what I'm saying, by the white folks, the Asian folks, we getting ridiculed no matter what we say, no matter who we say it to. So a lot of times we just keep to ourselves, because it's like, man, no matter what we say, we about to get ridiculed, you know. And who has time for that? After that happens to you so many times, man, you just gonna turn it off. You gonna stop. You're gonna stop communicating with people, and now your communication suffers. I know I'm not the only brother, you know, on this joint that has a problem with communication, man. It's just, man, I don't be, when it comes to expressing myself and expressing my feelings, man, I'm not the best when it comes to that. You know, I'm not the best at all, because that's how I've been trained and wired. I have been trained and wired at an early age. I have been trained, I've been taught, I was taught at an early age that, man, don't nobody care about how you feel. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody care about don't nobody care about how you feel. Don't nobody care that you sad. Don't nobody care that you angry. Don't nobody care about any of that. You know, so once I got that information, it was like, what's the point of even communicating? If nobody cares, like, think about it. If nobody cares how I feel, why would I go around telling people how I feel? So when we taught at an early age that, hey, nobody really cares about how you actually feel, what you think we gonna do? By default, we gonna say, man, nobody cares. Then why am I'm not gonna waste my time. So we feel like a lot of brothers feel like it's a waste of time to elaborate on our feelings because at the end of the day, we feel like nobody cares. So when you get into a relationship with a brother, this is something that you must take under consideration or into consideration, that the communication may not be the greatest, you know, because again, a lot, but that depends on the upbringing and the background of that particular brother. Not all of us are like that. But when you come across certain brothers with that traditional upbringing, a lot of times we not gonna have the greatest communication. I'm gonna keep it real. When it comes to our feelings, man, we just not gonna elaborate. We gonna tell you that we okay, and we probably not. And the thing of it is, we gonna tell you that we okay, even though we probably not. But the thing of it is, we don't know that we not okay. Like, we've been taught and trained and programmed to say we okay so many times that we don't really be knowing that there's a problem. We really think we okay. Like, that's the problem. Like, that's almost not a pet peeve, but I be kind of having a problem with that. I wrestle with that and I struggle with it. When I'm telling people I'm okay and they think I'm lying, I start to get a little defensive. Like, man, why do you think I'm lying when I'm saying I'm okay? Like, I've been so programmed. Like, that's an automatic response to that question for a lot of brothers, especially myself. Hey, how you feeling? I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm good. That's an automatic response. Automatic response. So when people question me, I start getting defensive because I think somebody think I'm lying. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even thinking about just how automatic that response is, and I'm not even reflecting on if I'm truly good or okay or not, because I've just been programmed to respond automatically with I'm good. And that's a lot of brothers. So when we tell you we good, like, we literally think we are good. We don't know that we have a problem sometimes. Like, we may just be figuring things out, but that don't register to us as a problem. Like, man, we just figuring some things out. A lot of times that be it. We be in that zone, man. I'm just figuring some things out. We not, to us, that's we good, you know. And a lot of times you be with a woman and she think you're lying, she think you ain't telling everything, but it's like, man, we don't, it's certain things that we may be dealing with or going through that we don't even really know how to elaborate on. So we be like, we good because we just figuring things out, sorting through things. So you think we be lying and you want us to elaborate on something, or you want us to tell you something, but we don't really know what it is you asking for. And that's the truth. I done been there, done it a few times, but I'll be like, I'm good. And they be like, no, you not. And I'm just like, man, if I'm not good, then tell me what's the problem. You know, because I don't know. You know, and that's the way a lot of us have been programmed, man. We just be dealing with life. We just be dealing with life, man. We don't spend a lot of time thinking about our problems and moping and all that type of stuff. We don't spend a lot of time on that. So when we tell you we good, like, good to us is, you know, dealing with life. Like, life throwing some things at us, but we dealing with it. That's good to us. You know, when we say we good, that's good. You know, describing it may sound bad, but like, to us, it's good. Like, man, life throwing us some curveballs, but we gonna, you know, we getting through it. You know, we living, we breathing, we all right, we good. You know, Bella, peace, appreciate that donation for sure. Fun guys, peace, what's happening? You said I was a viewer on your stream 7 days ago. I arrived at the end. Really got me having feelings on exactly what you're talking about, but I won't disclose. I got a call. If I don't make it back, I'll tune in live for sure. Hey, you ain't even gotta elaborate, you know. You ain't gotta elaborate. We ain't gonna put no pressure on you to elaborate, but I appreciate you tapping in though. Fire Simeon, what's happening? TV, peace, what's happening? Blue Exodus. I've had homeboys, I've had brothers cry in front of me, all that, you know, and I always joke, you know, and tell folks don't cry in front of me because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've done that, you know, but I've had them cry in front of me, man. I've had all type of people cry in front of me, but I've had some homeboys cry in front of me, all that, you know. And I ain't gonna lie, because I'm one of the ones, I'm not gonna necessarily say I didn't judge them per se. It depends on the circumstances. I've had some brothers cry in front of me for some situations that they created, and I told them the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you might as well stop all that crying because you created circumstances to this situation. This is on you. You know, so when it's a situation like that, I'm gonna tell them the truth. All that crying is dead to me at that point. You know, but when it's something that they like legitimately going through that they didn't, I ain't gonna say that they didn't create the circumstances, but it's like some real rough life stuff, then I sit back and let them do, I let them get it out their system. You know, but I'm so wired and programmed to when it's a situation that they created. Like I'm talking about, they had a hand in. They was like 95% the reason behind why they facing this situation that got them crying like that. When that happens, nah, like I'm gonna give you a reality check. You know, I'm gonna give you a reality check for sure. You know, but when it's something that's like some real life stuff, man, tragedies and all that type of stuff, man, get it out your system, fam. I ain't gonna even say nothing to you. You know, but what I never allow is somebody to cry over something they had a major hand in causing. You know, you caused this upon when you got a major hand in something that you caused. I don't care if you are a man or woman. I'm not gonna let you sit here and cry and waste my time with that. You know, so people can call that what they want to call it. But when you break a situation down to me, and sometimes you admit that it's your fault, I get it. You know what I'm saying? You might be crying because it is your fault, but I'm like, nah, we ain't finna do that. We ain't finna do that. We finna learn from that because we made a bad decision, man. We caused that. So now we gotta learn, you know. Because while I do allow for some people to do that, I was raised on tough love myself. You know what I'm saying? So it's ingrained in me to give that tough love back to certain people, man. So when I assess the circumstances and the situation, again, my automatic response to some people crying about certain things is to tell them to stop crying, you know, because you played a major role in it. You know, back when I was growing up, when I played a major role in something, I couldn't cry about it. Like when I got in trouble, when my people told me to do something or not to do something and I did it anyway, what's the first thing they tell me? You better stop, or you better not cry. You know what I'm saying? Because I told you don't do that and you did it anyway. You know, so if I got homeboys and we done had conversations and I done gave them some game and they done told me some things and we done agreed that they shouldn't do something, then weeks, months later they did it. Now they coming back and they crying. I'm like, man, what you crying for? 4 months ago we had a conversation and you knew not to do that. And you knew what would happen if you did, and you did it. Now you crying. No. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not weak. Come on. You know what I'm saying? But that's that tough love that I was raised with, which a lot of people, depending on the person, a lot of people do not receive tough love very well. I'm pretty cool with receiving it because that's what I got growing up. You know what I'm saying? But when it's outside of that, we ain't have a conversation prior to whatever it was you're crying about, I let people get it out their system. 100%. 100%. But I don't play the self-pity when you had a major hand in causing the problem. Like I don't play that. You know, because you want me to feel sorry for you, but we had a conversation 4 or 5 months ago. You know, I just can't. Like, it's not even, it don't be in my blood to feel sorry for that, man. When we had the conversation, you just knew not to do it. You know what I'm saying? We had a whole talk, you know what I'm saying? And you talked with some sense and you agreed with some stuff I told you, and then you went and did it anyway. Like, man, I ain't wired to have sympathy for that type of individual. But when it's just some BS in your life going on and you crying, man, because I done seen dude, and even outside of something, like I done seen dudes cry about, I done seen several situations where I done had brothers cry to me about, you know, their children and their baby mothers and things like that. Some of the situations that I've had, a lot of it be on the dude. Some of the situations I've had, a lot of it be on the woman just acting crazy, you know, and then I could say, man, you should have chose better. But that's beside the point. You know, when a woman is out here just doing some crazy nonsense to prevent you from seeing your child, I let them tears ride out. I let them tears ride out, fam. Because you got a lot, man. I didn't seen a lot personally, you know, as far as women being foul, using kids as weapons and things like that, man. And that right there be breaking a lot of brothers down. You know, that be breaking a lot of brothers down. You know, they want to place or slap this label of deadbeats on the black man, but a lot of these brothers, man, be genuinely wanting to be in the lives of their children. You know what I'm saying? You do got deadbeats on both sides. You got deadbeat mothers, deadbeat fathers. You know, but some dudes be unfairly slapped with that label because they be striving, maybe trying. But you got, man, listen, you got some devious chicks out here, man, that be using children as weapons, turning the children against the father, against the family of the father, like all that type of nonsense, man. All because he didn't moved on, all because things didn't work and he didn't moved on with his relationship life. Now you want to use the kids as a weapon. I don't care how tough a brother claims to be. Once your kids turn against you, man, that will break the strongest of brothers down when your kids start to hate you. You know, all because the mother is over here lying and playing hardball. That I done seen that break some of the toughest of brothers down when they kids don't want to have anything to do with them. I done seen that break some tough brothers down. And people break down in their own way. When I say break down, I don't mean just crying and all that type of good stuff. That's one way to break down. You know, but I done seen, man, people go on rages, man, that anger get the best of them, man. I done seen the strongest of strongest break down when they children want to have nothing to do with it. I don't care how tough you claim to be. I don't care how tough you profess to be. When your own children don't want to deal with you, man, that's a problem. That's a problem. It is a problem. You know what I'm saying? And I feel for any brother that's going through that, because I done seen it up close and personal. You know what I'm saying? I done seen it up close and personal. You know, all the things you done learned, all the philosophies that you done studied and learned, that stuff be going out the window when it hits close to home like that. You know, you can learn about detachment and all that stuff all day long. But the moment your kids, man, like, especially when you at one point was taking care of them, you know what I'm saying? And then had that snatched away from you because the woman out here tripped because y'all just wasn't meant to be together. And she can't put her petty nonsense to the side for the betterment of the children. And she want to use these kids as a weapon to get back at you. Like, that's it. That will cause 99% of the brothers out here to crack, man. That'll cause you to explode eventually. Like, for real. Like, straight up. Hey, peace to everybody that's tapping in. Peace to everybody that's tapping in, for sure. Peace to everybody that's tapping in. But yeah, the suffering amongst black men, man, is something that's not thoroughly understood, because a lot of times, man, we don't even know how to elaborate and explain on some of the things that we are dealing with. You know, because I didn't been there, done that. You know, and when we get into these relationships, man, you start having arguments back and forth, all that type of good stuff, man. Your communication may be off. It's because of this suffering, man. You just trying to do basic things like survive and thrive in the workplace, man, but you getting discriminated against and all that type of good stuff. And all you trying to do is provide for yourself and the people around you, and that's getting snatched away from you. That's something that I dealt with and wrestled with. So I had to go out here, make sacrifices and do my own thing, because I went out here and played the game the way they told me to play it, but I didn't get rewarded how they said you would get rewarded, you know? So now I'm out here looking crazy. So I had to take matters into my own hands, you know, and that's a whole nother topic right there, man, in regards to how hard that grind is, you know. So it was a lot of suffering, man, just a lot of frustration on my part, when all I was striving to do is provide for myself and provide for the people around me. And I was taking the path that everybody wanted me to take, which that caused the problem. You know, taking the path that everybody thought was the best path for me, not the path that I knew would be the best path, you know. And that led to a lot of frustration, a lot of unnecessary suffering, man, just a lot of arguments, a lot of nonsense, man, just unhappiness. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of brothers deal with that. But again, we are taught to just deal with that. You know, we ain't really taught to cry about it. We ain't taught to elaborate on the sentiments and none of that, man. We just taught to deal with it. Life is unfair, deal with it. Like, that's how we taught to go about it. Like, life is unfair, just deal with it. You know, so when we go, and the crazy part about it is when people say that, you know, I don't like hearing that from any other group of people, because everybody is not on an even playing field. And that's the reality, you know. But when we start talking about that, when we start talking about how unfair the system is, then everybody want to add their 2 cents about how unfair life is. But like, nah, it's a different ball game for a black man. It's a different ball game for a black woman. It's a different ball game for black people in general. So I really don't like when outsiders try to tell me how unfair life is, you know, as if everybody is on an even playing field, when we know good and well that that ain't the reality. We don't have the same level of opportunities that other groups of people have, and that's just a fact. But the moment we start talking about it and bringing it up, then everybody want to tell us what we do. You blaming the white man, y'all blaming the system, y'all doing this. So again, we can't say anything. We can't speak on anything that we going through, because then they gonna say, you blaming this, you blaming that, you blaming this. Like, no, I'm acknowledging the reality. I'm acknowledging the reality of the system. If I walk into a job interview decked out, looking as good as I can look, you know what I'm saying, for a management position with a top firm or a top corporation, and the people interviewing me are predominantly white, and I'm interviewing, and my competition is 5 or 6 other white folks, 6 white folks, it'd be 5 white dudes and 1 white woman. What are my chances of getting that job? What's my chances of getting that job is not the same as my competition. Not even close. And we ain't finna even act like that's the reality, man. If I go in that job interview and it's 7 of us, you know what I'm saying? It's me, the 1 black person. Then we got 6, we got 5 white dudes, there's 4 white dudes and 2 white chicks being interviewed by predominantly, you know what I'm saying? Predominantly white people, whiteboard, whatever we want to call them. My chances are not the same. No matter how sharp I am in that interview, my chances are not the same. It is not an even playing field. All 7 of us are not walking in there on an even playing field. The 6 of them may be, but no, I don't have the same set of chance. I have got to be flawless in that interview for me to even be considered, fam. For me to even be considered. The fact that I probably got the interview was only because they have to meet a quota in regards to interviewing a certain amount of black people, because they won't get charged for discrimination. You know what I'm saying? So that might be the only reason I'm getting an interview in the first place. By pity, like, man, we don't want to be, you know what I'm saying? We don't want to get accused of discrimination. We need a quota. We need to interview at least 3 or 4 black dudes. Let's bring them in. Let's bring in a few and say we interviewed them. You know what I'm saying? So we can't act like everybody is on the even playing field. Everybody has the same set of opportunities and things like that. Man, that's not true. That ain't me blaming the white man. That ain't me blaming the system. That's me telling the truth about the system. That's all that it is. Trust and believe. I ain't giving white folks all that power. I'm just literally telling the truth. They created a system, and foundation of that system revolves around them being at a certain level and us being at a certain level beneath them. If power was evenly distributed, then system wouldn't exist. It'd be a whole different system. So they got to keep the power structure the way that it is. And the only way for them to maintain that power truly is to definitely keep black men at the bottom. So they will do everything in their power to keep a certain type of black man at the bottom. And that's just the reality. So when you are a certain type of black man, man, you have got to, man, listen, you got to fight through so many obstacles, jump over so many hurdles just to be decent out here, just to earn a decent living. Just to earn a decent living, fam. Trust me, just earn a decent living. Just earn a decent living, fam. That's crazy. Graphic arts. The reason why we go along with it, our elders tell us the truth. Our elders let us know every time. We have a defeatist mentality. It's a defeatist mentality. That's it. At the end of the day, this is our mentality. This is why black people continue to go along with this garbage system, knowing it's messed up. Or the exact sentiments, and y'all done heard this told to y'all before by elders. What is something that they always say? There's nothing we can do about it. It's exactly what they tell you. There's nothing we can do about it. I've been told that. Nothing you can do about it. So you just gotta learn how to put up with them. That's what they told me. That's what they tell themselves. That's what they told me. That's what they tell the other youth. It's nothing you can do about it. So you just gotta learn how to deal with these white folks. Nothing you can do about it. They just gonna be on top. The system just gonna be what it is, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing I can do about it. We just gotta learn how to deal with it. So we have a defeatist mentality. That is exactly why black people keep going along with this system, knowing it's corrupt, because we think it's nothing we can do about it. That's it. That's the exact answer. It's the only answer, because that's what we have all been told. It's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, and just pray about it. That's the part I left out. There's nothing you can do about it. You can only pray. That's how they finish it. You know what I'm saying? But there's nothing you can do about it. That's what they tell us. I mean, I have been told that so many times. Matter of fact, people have gotten on me, fam. Like, I've had close friends, family, all that, getting on me about spreading my message. Like, man, you listen, you can't save the world, so you might as well get off of social media talking like that, man, because you can't save everybody. Well, damn, excuse me for trying. Excuse me for trying. You know, somebody gotta try. Like, I don't care if I can't save anybody, but I'm gonna try to save as many people as I can. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to help as many people as I can. But I didn't got scrutinized for trying to help my people and being passionate about it, because it has caused doors to close on me, opportunities to bypass me, because I'm out here spreading a certain type of message. Man, you can't save all them people. You might as well stop wasting your energy. Excuse me for trying. I'm glad people like Malcolm X didn't have that mentality. I'm glad the Black Panthers didn't necessarily have that mentality. I'm glad Marcus Garvey didn't have that mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad Khalid Muhammad didn't have that mentality. I'm glad Fred Hampton didn't have that mentality. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad these brothers and Assata Shakur, all the good sisters that fought for us, Francis Cress Wilson, all them. I'm glad they didn't have that mentality. It's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do, man. We might as well. We just gotta deal with the white folks. Nothing we can do. Why waste time trying to educate your people, man? That's a waste of time. It ain't nothing you can do. You can't change this system. You never know. It was a lot of things before it actually happened that we didn't think was possible. We didn't think at one point in time we'd be living our lives. We had everything on the phone. We didn't think that was gonna happen. We didn't think it was possible. You know what I'm saying? If you was born around the time I was born, you didn't think at one point in time you're gonna have everything on the phone. All the music you listen to, all your pictures, all this type of stuff existing right here on the phone. We ain't think that. We ain't think that. We ain't what I'm doing right now. 25 years ago, we never thought something like this would be possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, the world has been changed many a times when people thought that it wouldn't get to the place where it's at. So now, best believe I'm gonna keep trying. I might actually change the world. You know what I'm saying? So I used to buy into that. But I might actually change the world. You never know. I might say the right thing at the right time and it clicks, and now the world has shifted from something that I said or a video that I put out because it clicked at the right time. So you never know. You never know. I might indeed change the world. I personally already feel like I have done that. You know what I'm saying? I already feel like I've done that. I already feel like I've done that, you know, because if I've helped 5 people transition into a healthier lifestyle, I've changed the world. That's changing the world to me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't listen straight up. Like, if I help 5 people come to me and be like, man, it's because of you that I stopped eating like this, or it's because of you that I stopped smoking, stopped drinking. Man, I didn't change the world. I didn't change the world, fam. I didn't change it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot, you know, being a brother, man, and especially when you are a certain type of brother, man. When you got that revolutionary, just vein, man, the revolutionary blood, man, when that's just in your blood, you know, to not conform to the system, then it's that much more complicated for you. You know, it's when you inspired by Malcolm, you know, by Khalid Muhammad, you know, by Huey Newton, Fred Hampton, Marcus, or like when these are your influences in life, Amos Wilson, you know, George Jackson, all these people, you know what I'm saying? Frantz Fanon, all these brilliant black minds. When you studying these folks, when you inspired by these folks, when you influenced by these folks, it's hard out here. It's hard out here, man, because there's certain things we not going for. We not gonna be laughing and joking with these white folks when things ain't funny. You know, we looking at them sideways. You know, because at the end of the day, we done studied Francis Cress Welsing. You know, we done studied Willie Fuller Jr. You know, so now we looking at all of them as being potential racists because that's what they taught us. You know what I'm saying? So we don't trust y'all. We think that when it all pops off, you smiling in my face right now, but you a turn on. You know what I'm saying? You a turn on. You ain't willing to give up that white privilege to help me. You know, so we looking at all of y'all sideways. You know, so when you've been raised on these teachings, when you been influenced by these folks, it's that much harder for you. A lot of some of my favorite black authors had to die penniless. And I talk about this all the time. You know, had to die penniless. I'm talking about and put out some of the greatest works on the planet, letting us know who we are, where we came from. When they done tried to destroy and burn our libraries down, we had some great ancestors now that went did the work, gave us some of the best work on the planet to remind us of who we are and where we came from. And these people had to die penniless. Imagine that your life's work is dedicated to reminding the most powerful people on the planet how powerful they are, and you got to die broke. You have to die broke. That's messed up. You know, so just imagine somebody such as myself that I'm influenced by these people, but then I'm also wrestling with, man, I got to earn a living. I got to eat. So, man, what can I do? You know, because I don't want to end up like that. But at the same time, I feel like I got a mission to do. I feel like I got to carry on the legacy. I feel like I got to carry on the works. But again, I got to feed myself. I got to feed my fam. I got to feed the people around me. How do I do this? You know what I'm saying? So just imagine that dilemma. You know, so this is a lot of stuff that brothers that's in my same type of spot had to go through. And a lot of people can't relate to it. A lot of people don't know about this struggle, but it's real in the field. You know, we struggling with fulfilling our duty to carry on the legacy of some of our great ancestors. Meanwhile, try to earn a decent living without being blackballed. The moment you start speaking this truth and you get on these platforms and carry on the legacy, you getting blackballed. Getting blackballed, man. You getting opportunities denied that you know you should be getting, all this type of stuff because your face is attached to a certain message. And the people in power are not going for that. People in power ain't going for that. So people don't know that struggle. Man, listen, I'm a personal trainer. Imagine me. You know, I got to wrestle with, man, do I really want to get Dr. Sebi on him? You know, but then, hey, what happened to Dr. Sebi? So I got to find an intricate way to inspire my people to eat a certain type of way without them shutting me down. Imagine that I can't even talk freely on these platforms about what I really want to talk to, because I know good and well if I do, they'll shut my platform down that I might mysteriously end up missing. So imagine that, man. See, again, this is stuff that the black man may be going through that a lot of folks are not hip to. I'm not the only brother that has this type of struggle going on. You know, it's certain things that I might want to get up here and do that sometimes I do and say and speak. But y'all see what happens. Videos get deleted. Videos get removed. Channels get a strike. So that means I'm on the radar. They know I exist. I done had like 7 to 10 videos get removed. So I'm on a list somewhere. The stuff I'm saying is not going under the radar. So my name and face is attached to certain messages because I done had things removed. I done got strikes, things like that. I'm in a database. So it ain't no going, ain't no turning back for brothers such as myself. People don't understand how stressful that is. When you start speaking a certain message, man, you don't know, man, you might be driving at night. You don't know if somebody following you. You know what I'm saying? You see the cops, man, you don't know, you know what I mean? You don't know what's going on when your name and face is attached to a certain message. You just never know. It's a crazy world out here, man. You never know who's looking for you. You never know who's watching you. You never know who's following you sometimes, man. If you're not on high alert, which I tend to stay on high alert, you know, so I'm always looking for something suspicious. And that's unfortunate, but I feel like as a black man, that's how I gotta live. Because I don't know where danger may come from. It may come from my neck of the woods, from somebody who looks just like me. It may come from their neck of the woods for somebody who don't look nothing like me. It may come from anywhere. So I'm on high alert. I don't know where danger finna come from, unfortunately. So I'm always looking for something that ain't adding up, that's suspicious. And a lot of brothers got to live in that paranoid state. And that's an unfortunate reality. We don't know where that danger finna come hit us from. You know, we do not know. So letting your guards down is very dangerous as a black man, because you don't know where the danger gonna come from. Man, it can come from the woman you with. It could come from your homeboy. It could come from that cop. It could come from anybody. It could come from your co-worker. It could come from your boss. Man, danger can hit you from anywhere. So we on high alert. What other population of people that when they leave the crib, that their women are happy that they made it home? Like, think about that. There is no other group of people on the planet to where when they make it home, it's like a sigh of relief. Everybody, it's a regular day for everybody else to just go and come back home. But when the black man leaves and makes it back home, it's like it's a sigh of relief. Like, man, I'm glad he made it. Especially when they leave at night. What other group of people got to be saying that? Ain't none of these other women worried about they men not making it back home. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because. Like, if they doing a dangerous job, that's one thing. But our women, literally, if we leave at night, we could be doing something harmless, but it's like the fact that we left the crib at night, whether it's to go to work or just do something harmless, like, man, they worried. Everybody worried. When the black man leave at night, everybody worried because we don't know what's going to happen. Man, they can get dead in. They go into on the wrong side of town. Cops can pull them over. Anything can happen. So when we leave the crib, it's crazy. Everybody worried, everybody concerned, and we ain't even doing nothing. But we the only group to where the women got to be stressed out when we leave the crib at a certain hour. And they got to be, it's a sigh of relief that we didn't made it back to the crib. Like, we can't even leave the crib without people worried. That's how messed up and traumatized. That's how all bad our lives are. That's how all bad our lives are. When a black man leave the crib, if I leave the crib at 7 o'clock at night, you know, you ain't gonna be able to sleep until your man gets back in the crib because you worried. Ain't no other group of people like that, fam. Come on now. KJ, what's happening? Know thyself. I'm trying to tell you, man, when you got that knowledge of self, man, it's hard, fam. It's hard. I ain't talking about these shucking and jive, you know, these black dudes shucking and jive and sandboning. That's easy. They can maneuver in life. You know what I'm saying? The ones that's willing to sell themselves out and they people, that they got it. You know, they got it. I'm talking about the brothers that staying true to themselves and got knowledge of self and spread a certain message. It's rough. Sylvetta, you say, do you ever feel like giving up? Man, I didn't felt. Not only did I feel like giving up several times, I have given up. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna even lie. I have literally. I ain't felt like giving up. I have given up. Like, I have said this stuff is pointless. I give up. I quit. You know what I'm saying? I'm done doing this. I have given up several times. I've given up plenty of times. And I'm talking about I ain't talking about like on life in general, even though back in the day, as a kid, I might have had them type of thoughts. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just talking about as an adult, man, I've given up in regards to the mission, in regards to just devoting myself to a certain journey and mission and all that good stuff. I've given up on that plenty of times. Like, man, I ain't doing it. I'm not about to present this message to my people, man. I'm about to sell. I'm about to go work with the white folk. Like, I didn't did all that. I've given up. I've gotten upset. I've gotten frustrated, and I've given up several times. And I start back up because that's how I know it's in my blood. you know, because I give up. I be like, I'm done with this. It's dead. I'm gonna just do something else, low key, and then I can't sleep with it. You know, I be thinking about be eating at me. You can't do it, fam. You can't do it. You say don't feel right. Don't feel right. You know, but I've given up. I'm one of them, bro. I will admit I have given up completely. You know what I'm saying? Plenty of times. Like, man, it's dead, man. Like, I ain't, these black folks don't care. These people don't care this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've given up. Given up several times, man. More times than I can even count. Shoot, I got it. I ain't start going live. I ain't start streaming on YouTube until 2020. I was supposed to have started a YouTube channel in 2009, 2010. That's just to let you know where I was at. It took me 10, 11 years to get on YouTube consistently. Because I just was like, what's the point? I'm like, I'm not finna waste my time, fam. I'm not finna do it. I'm not wasting my time with this. You know what I'm saying? Like that 10-year stretch was me on and off giving up. Y'all know I gave up music. I stopped doing music. So that's one of I can have plenty of examples of me giving up. You know what I'm saying? Music was one of them. Rapping. But I'm putting a certain message in my song. What I say? I was like, man, these black folks don't want to hear me. They don't want to hear this type of music. They'd rather me make club music, this, that, and the third. So I gave up. I don't do music no more. I literally gave up music because I was like, people don't want to hear that. They want to hear this garbage. Knowing that it's a market for what I was doing, but I just gave up. I say, man, I'm wasting this energy, fam. I'm in here going hard on these songs, man, putting all my heart and thought into this music. I'm talking about crafting the most conscious bars I can think of. And I'm like, the people that really need to hear this, they not trying to hear it. So I gave up. I stopped doing music. I stopped writing music, stopped writing poetry, all that. Gave up. I was like, what's the point of this, man? I'm not doing it. Once I started seeing all this toxic music around me, making it to the mainstream, I say, man, I don't even want to go through that type of stress, man. I don't even want to, like, the way my mind was set up, I just couldn't handle it. I'm like, man, I don't want to see all this garbage, toxic music getting praised while I'm putting my heart into this music, man, and educating folks, and it's getting overlooked. Like I couldn't take that. I couldn't take it. You know, and I'm not even bragging about myself, but I do feel like to this day, I still feel like I'm talented, more talented than most of these folks in the mainstream. But due to the message, due to the stuff that I would be rapping about, it would go right under the radar. And I was like, man, I didn't feel like it. I didn't feel like committing to that, knowing that was gonna be the reality, man. Because I was putting a lot. Pouring a lot into that music. I was like, man, I'd just rather do it this way. But music, one of my first passions, man. I should have never gave that up, but I did though. You know, and I can still go back and do it. But man, I stopped right in the prime, man. Right when I was getting, I'm talking about reaching my peak. You know, I was reaching a space musically to where I feel like I was untouchable. You know, I was reaching a zone. Like I had finally found my sound and voice, and I stopped because I was like, nobody want to hear this. They had convinced me. You know what I'm saying? Everybody convinced me. Globe piece, what's happening? I know thyself for sure. You know that somebody asked the question. Hold on. KJ say, what keeps you going at this point? Man, you know, in business, and when you study in business, they say figure out your why. You know, why is it that you wake up every day and go to work? Why is it that you wake up every day and do what it is that you do? You know, and I had determined my why, man, because I feel like this is my purpose. Like it's my purpose, and I can no longer run from it. Like I was like, listen, I was brought into existence to do exactly what it is that I'm doing. And I know this because every time I try to stop doing it, I don't feel right. You know, so that's what keeps me going at this point. It's my purpose. It's my call. It's my devotion. You know, my grandfather, about soon as I came out the womb, gave me the nickname the preacher. And he saw it in me before I even saw it in myself, you know? So this is my calling. This is what I'm here to do. And I just started running from it. And that's what keeps me going at this point. I'm no longer running from my reality. This is my reality. This is what I'm put here to do. So I'm finna do it. You know, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make sure to, man, I done had plenty of situations where I probably shouldn't have came out of them things alive. But you know, when you go through them experiences, man, you come out alive, that means you still got work to do. You know, I had a car accident that I should not have survived, man. And I walked out or crawled from underneath. You know, the car flipped over. I crawled out of that car, you know what I'm saying, with no injuries, no major injuries. Just had the glass in me, you know. Then got robbed at gunpoint in the bank. Then got robbed twice at the banks. Y'all know the stories. You know, shouldn't have made it out of some of these situations, fam. But here I am. That's because I still got work to do. I'm not clocking out until the work is done. You know, so now I didn't realize that. You know, I didn't realize that I still got work to do. You know, so I'm here to make sure the work gets done. You know, and I'm not clocking out before the work is done. And I feel like I had them close calls for a reason. You know, so you can't ignore those. When you done had a close call in your life, man, when you done had a situation where you probably should have made it out that jam, that means you got something that you need to do. And that's life's way of giving you a second chance, giving you another chance at it. Don't take it for granted. I kept taking things for granted, so I kept getting hit with a situation after situation where you keep playing with life, this next situation gonna take you up out of here. You know, car wreck, robbery. It's like, dudes, you better get on it, fam. You better get that's what life was telling you. You better pursue this because all right, this next thing ain't gonna be too pleasant for you. So I had to listen. I was like, look, man, life keep hitting me with some situations where if it get a little more real, I ain't gonna make it out this thing. So I'm like, all right, man, let me evaluate myself, man, and let me tap in. And I tapped in, and here I am. So I got work to do. You know, life was trying to get me to clock out this thing a little early. I had to start listening. So for real, fam, like y'all gotta start listening. You know, don't take life for granted, because all it takes is that split second, boom, snap of the fingers, and your life could be done with. When I had that car accident that I was in happened like that, boom, and it was over. That could have been it right there, and I wouldn't have accomplished anything that I wanted to or that I was supposed to accomplish. Boom, just like that. I'm asleep. I fall asleep. Boom. Next minute, I'm flipping 5 times. Boom, it's over with like that. And now that could have been it. It's people that have been in less severe accidents that ain't make it out. You know what I'm saying? And that was self-inflicted. I fell asleep. You know what I'm saying? I fell asleep behind the wheel. There ain't nobody else hit me. So I caused this on I almost took myself out the game. Being young and dumb. Almost took myself out the game. Like, nah, man, I gotta get that together. Gotta get it together, fam. You know what I'm saying? You got life to live, you got things to do. Get it together. Thinking you made out of steel, thinking that you can be out here on no sleep, trying to work. No, fam. Be smart, be wise. Life has a funny way of humbling you and teaching you some lessons. Sometimes they are very extreme. There was a very extreme way that I had to learn a lesson. Like, nah, fam, man, you gotta stop taking time for granted, life for granted, rest and sleep for granted. Like, you ain't made out of steel, you ain't invincible, bro. You better get you some sleep, bro. Get you some rest. You know, don't brag about working all day and night, man. Your body, listen, fam. Like I learned that early. Man, don't work yourself to the grave, because that's where you're gonna end up. You ain't gonna be able to enjoy no aspect of life. You know, giving all your time. And then at that time, I was working at a job where I ain't too much like the management of white folks, racist. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, the end of my life could have been like literally the end of my life could have been working a summer job at a manufacturing plant, dealing with racist management that was pissing me off, causing me to, you know what I'm saying, causing me to lose sleep. And now that was the end of my life. That was it. Nah. I'm not finna give them, I'm not about to be working all that hard. That moment I realized, man, I'm not about to be working that hard for these racist white folks to the point where I'm almost about to kill myself. I'm gonna put that time and energy into building up my own empire, building up my own stuff. Man, I literally was out here almost killing myself, building up somebody else's empire. Like I'm a living reality of I was out here working too hard for somebody else's empire and about killed myself in the process. Man, it ain't that serious. For some folks that do not care about, when I called them, the dude had a problem with what happened. Like, man, what you falling asleep for? Why you just, bro, ain't asked me was I all right? You know, I ain't gonna say, bro, that damn devil, he ain't asked me was I all right? The dude just trying to get on me about falling asleep. I say, man, all right, that's it. That's it. That right there, I now understand my purpose in life, and I can't do that. I ain't work for these white. I'm not doing that. You know, because I was ready to drive back up there, get back. And the crazy part about it, like I said, I worked with my brother, so my brother was right behind me. Like literally, when I had my car, my brother was right behind me. You know what I mean? So I was ready to get in that car. I was ready to go fight. Like, bro, what? I'm out here, could have died, and this dude mad that I ain't gonna be able to work. All right, white folks don't care about you, man. Plenty of times where people done been at the job, mugs and dropped dead at the job, and they just boom, move them out the way, get back to work. Everybody, I'm not dying for them. I'm not doing that. I'm not working myself into a coma. I'm not working myself into a grave for anybody but myself. Something that I could pass down. You know, I can't pass down that type of job to anybody, so I'm not about to dedicate all my time and energy to it. And I made that vow at that moment. Allah's finest, peace. Appreciate that cash out for sure. So that I had some wake up calls, man, early in my life. Early in my life, man, I had some wake up calls, man. Wake up call. I had health complications, man, that folks weren't knowing about, that folks don't know about. Folks see me working out, you know what I'm saying? And I done had all type of problems. Man, y'all people don't, I'm telling you, sisters, y'all don't know the half. You know, y'all see me venting. I'm telling you, this ain't nothing compared to what some other brothers might get up on here and say. But man, y'all know the half, you know. And unfortunately, we didn't had a lot of experiences where we didn't share this information with plenty of sisters, and it then got, you know, the response wasn't the greatest. You know, so now we suppress everything and we don't like to communicate some of these sentiments and some of these feelings. You know, but man, I ain't even getting into detail with a lot of this, man. It's just this light work compared to a lot of the stuff that didn't really went on with me. Y'all don't know the half. I tell people this all the time. Y'all know the half. Y'all only know what y'all see and what I tell you. You know, but it's a lot of other stuff that's brewing, man. Man, I got a lot of, man, listen. I got a lot of trauma that's not tapped into. You know, I got a lot of anger that hasn't been resolved. Man, I got a lot of stuff that I'm dealing with, that I'm striving to conquer and whatnot. And it's an ongoing battle, day-to-day battle. Some days are better than others, man. Some days I'm cool. Some days I'm like, I ain't even feeling the anger. Then the next 5 days, I'm just pissed off. Pissed off. You know what I'm saying? And it's been on and off with anger and frustration. Like that's my vice, you know, it's anger, fam. Like anger, you know, like I get frustrated. And a lot of times on the surface, I might get frustrated or angry with somebody for something they did, but it's a deeper reasoning behind the anger. Like that anger might be stemming from something that happened to me 20 years ago that I suppressed, or, you know what I'm saying, that I've tried to bury alive. So you might have did something and I snapped at you, but you ain't really the source of my anger. I'm angry about something else that happened 15 years ago. Because again, I'm raised on strictly tough love, man. I can't tell you how many times I didn't bury my feelings. I can't tell you last time I shed a tear. You know, it's people around me. I ain't never seen you cry. Because that's how, man, I done been through some traumatic experiences. And you ain't seen me shed a tear, man. Y'all, I didn't help, like I done been the pallbearer of all my close relatives at the past funeral. Ain't shed not one tear about it. But y'all don't think that stuff affects me? You know, and I know plenty of other brothers like that, man. I didn't have to do all that. I didn't have to carry the casket of my grandmother. I had to recently carry the casket of my 39-year-old cousin right before he turned 40. I had to carry the casket of one of my favorite aunties that passed back in the day. A year before that, I had to carry the casket of her husband, which is my uncle. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to carry the casket of two of my other close cousins. I didn't have to carry. I was pallbearing all of them, man. I ain't shed not one tear, man, because everybody around me breaking down, and I got to be there for them. See, y'all, people don't be understanding that, man. It's hard. The brother man got to be the rock, got to be the one that's picking up all the other people that's crying and hitting the ground. So I ain't never had any time to grieve over all of these lost family members, fam. And I done lost a lot of family members and friends over the years. And I didn't have to carry caskets and bury them and all of that, you know, and I'm having to pick the other people up off the ground, you know, straight up. I ain't never had to, I don't even remember, like my grandmother's funeral, fam. I don't even think I was able to view the body. I don't even think I was able to view the body because everybody kept dropping down crying when they get to the body, and I had to go. I was one of the ones that had to go pick them up. I don't even think I was able to view the body the last time. I don't recall doing it. I'm having to go grab my mom, grab my sister, grab my aunties, all this type of stuff. How am I supposed to be able to deal with any type of emotions and feelings when that's happening? I'm not blaming them for it, but that's the reality of the black man. That's our responsibility. We can't be breaking down too hard because who finna pick the sisters up when they crying? You know what I'm saying? So then that translates into anger for me. You know, all the times where I done had to bury these close folks and I ain't really had no time to grieve and process it. Now I'm just angry. You know what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden I'm mad and I ain't understanding why I'm mad. It's because, man, I done dealt with all this and I ain't had time to process nothing. You know what I'm saying? I had time to process none of this. You know, I'm here for other people and I'm having to witness all this type of stuff, but I ain't done processed anything. I ain't done processed anything, man. You know, so now I'm just angry, you know, and you don't know where that anger is stemming from. Man, it ain't, I don't care how tough you are, man. Carrying all them the caskets that I didn't have to carry from people you grew up with that to help raise you, man, that ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? That ain't that's going to affect. I don't care how tough y'all think I am, how tough I present myself to be. That affects everybody. It affects everybody. And I haven't shed not the slightest of a tear over any of that. So that lets you know all the rage that's inside of me. Because I forgot some people that I mentioned, man. But I didn't have, man, I could go down the list. You know, like I say, the Uncle Rick, we watched him die of cancer. Then my Aunt Carolyn, right at the year after that, man, she dies tragically. You know what I'm saying? You know, the grandmother, boom, the cousin just dropping dead at work, cardiac arrest. You know, I had another cousin die in a car wreck. You know, another cousin after that, seizure in his sleep. Man, I keep on going. I keep on going. Keep on going. This stuff is happening. And it's happening. It's like every other year. Boom. Getting hit with something. Bang. Boom. Like, man, what's going on? Whole while, all this other stuff is also happening that I'm having to deal with. You know what I mean? And I ain't in people like, man, you need to cry and all this and all of that. Like, man, I ain't got time for it. You know, I got the gym. You know what I mean? I got to train folks. So I'm entertaining everybody else's traumatic experiences, because when you're a trainer, you a therapist too. And then I was a banker before that. So now I got to deal with people and their financial problems. Man, I ain't never had that opportunity to just unload and unleash on people like that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have plenty of clients. I didn't have a few clients come to me and tell me that I ain't never seen you in a bad mood. Look at that, the mud buffering. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't have plenty of my clients like, man, I ain't never seen you in a bad mood. Like, clients don't even be knowing half the stuff. You know, hey, man, I ain't never seen you in a bad mood. I'm like, man, I didn't train y'all, man. I didn't bury all type of family members, and then you see me back in the gym as soon as I get back in town, training folks like I never left. As soon as I get back in town, boom. You know what I'm saying? Because I gotta provide, because I gotta do that. You know, I gotta make ends meet, because that's what we are taught that a man does. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't. I done been in all of these type of situations, then dealt with all this type of stuff in life. And again, that's still like, it's still a lot that y'all do not know the half about that I can sit here and talk about. And I don't really, a lot of that stuff I don't get the opportunity to process it, especially at the time that it's happening, because I got to be there to pick up everybody else. You know, so by the time all this stuff is over with, the dust settles, I'm like, man, I don't even feel like it, you know. So now it's anger, because now I don't even feel like revisiting it, because it's like, man, I don't feel like it. So now rage, anger, frustration. You know, that's what you left with. You know, so I be having a lot of anger built inside of me. You know, so it don't take much for me to. I have gotten better, but it doesn't take much for me to snap. You know, I done got a lot better. You know, but back then, the slightest just the slightest thing I didn't like, I'm about to snap, spaz, go off. You know, I was cool till I wasn't. You know, now I'm getting a lot better with it. It's still there, but I'm handling it a lot better. But I know a lot of brothers that deal with anger management and things like that, fam. Like I ain't been to no anger management classes and took no anger management courses, but I know I have that problem, you know, and that goes to my point. A lot of brothers walking around undiagnosed. Like we got a lot of these problems. It's just undiagnosed. I know I've spoken on. I know I probably got some level of CTE from all the football I played, you know, and I know that don't make the anger any better, you know, but I know that that's not the cause 100% of my anger, because I had the anger before I started playing football. You know what I'm saying? So this is just something that I've been dealing with. And it's something that a lot of brothers deal with, you know, and the few times we have back in the day, the few times we done tried to cry, or the few times that we done said something about it, man, you better stop all that crying. Don't nobody want to hear that. Don't nobody care all that soft. And be like, all right. Now you created an emotionless individual. And now when situations cause for emotions to be shown, I don't know how to show them. Like, I don't know how to cry at the funeral. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to do it. That's another reason I just don't know how to do it. Like, I just ain't in me to do it. Like, I feel y'all, but I just don't be knowing how. I'm like, all right, I don't know how to do it. I'm programmed to be ready to pick up people. You know, I'm programmed to ready to be there for other people. You know, I ain't programmed to be like, dag, man, somebody let me cry. So I ain't programmed like that, fam. I ain't programmed. I'm not programmed to grieve like that. I ain't programmed to do it. You know, I'm programmed to what they say, be strong. You know, and a lot of times people think that it's an act. I'm not putting on an act. You know, this is just me. You know, it's not an act. It's my actual personality that was embedded in me as a child. That was my upbringing. You know, so it's not an act when it's a part of me. You know, so it's just in me to be this. So that's what a lot of people, especially a lot of women, don't understand. It's just in some of us brothers to be that. We're not trying to be tough. We have to be, like we was told to be tough. We was taught to be tough. So therefore we are now tough. That's a part of us when it comes to things like that. Like we raised that way. So we become that. We become that, fam. I became that, fam. So when I'm at a funeral, I ain't designed to cry. Like that ain't, I'm in there like, all right, who about to fall out next? I'm gonna have to go grab them. I'm gonna have to go pick up such and such. They finna pass out. You know, I'm wired like that. And then once it's over with, I'm wired to move on. Like I ain't really all right, man. You know, boom, they passed. We had the funeral. Life goes on. You know, life goes on. You know that's where my mind be at. Some people that can be unhealthy. Some other people that can be healthy. I don't know, but that's just how I'm wired to process things. All right, boom, man. We had the funeral. Boom, we made it. Last goodbyes. Boom, life goes on. Person wouldn't want me sitting around moping. Let me live my life. Let me live. Let me live for them. Things like that. So whether you say, would you consider going to get help? To be honest, it'll have to be the right person. Because I don't even, you know what I'm saying? It has to truly be the right person. I'm my own toughest critic, but I'm also a harsh critic when it comes to other stuff too. You know, so even when it comes to getting help, because I don't really trust a lot of people. It's almost like a doctor, you know. You be going to these doctors because I didn't got burned by professionals, you know. So even with getting help, that's gonna take a lot because I gotta make sure I ain't getting burned because I didn't got burned by back when I was going to the doctor all the time to see. That's a getting help. That's a stigma attached to black men. And y'all don't never go to the doctor, things like that. Well, back when I actually was trying to go to the doctor, that was me going to get help. I was telling these people what my problems were, where my problems are, and no problem got solved. I only ended up worse. So now that has corrupted my vision towards professional help. That corrupted me. Back then, man, I was having ailment after ailment, and I felt like every time I saw a professional, I got sicker, I got worse, I got angrier, I got more frustrated. So now that has corrupted my perspective when it comes to professionals helping me because I done been burned by the professionals. You know, I done went to teachers back when I was having problems, and they just blew me off, gave me the worst type of advice, all this type of stuff, man. So I stayed going to doctors and specialists back in the day, man. I did it. I did it, you know. So the times that I was doing it and devoting my life to trying to get people to help me, I didn't get help. I didn't start changing and shifting until I took it upon myself to start helping myself. So that's why I'm wired the way that I'm wired, which is to help myself first. And then if I exhaust all those options, then I may find somebody else. Because when I put all of that into the hands of professionals, I got burned. I got worse. Thunder, appreciate that donation for sure. I got worse. So I would be willing to get help, but that's only after I done exhausted all of the possible ways I can help myself. And I realized none of that works. Because of what I don't want to do is waste time and have to keep going through professionals. Like, man, I went to this person, I ain't clicking with him, because it's almost like getting a trainer. You got to make sure you get a trainer that you can connect with, that you mesh with. All trainers are not created equally. You know, so you might have to go through 5 or 6 or 10 trainers before you find the one that actually is good with you. Man, I don't feel like going through 5 or 6 psychiatrists or, you know, all these type of people, man, before I find one that actually makes sense. Man, that's draining in and of itself. So I already know that that's a process that I would have to go through because I'm overly critical. The moment you start telling me stuff I already know, or the moment you start telling me stuff that sounding like it ain't for black folks or for me, man, I'm about to look at you sideways. And that's just the way that I'm wired. So it'll take a lot for me to actually trust somebody because, again, corruption. I've been corrupted. I didn't just come out the womb not trusting them. It was the moments where I tried to trust professional help and they failed me. Then now I'm like, man, I do better when I do this on my own. You know, I do better when I self-study and implement things that I've learned on my own, opposed to, hey, I got a heart problem, let me go see the heart specialist. Then my heart get worse. I'm going to see them for nosebleeds, and they give me whatever they giving me. The nosebleeds getting worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got rid of nosebleeds on my own. You know, I'm going to physical therapy, my shoulder all bad. My shoulder don't get no better. I fix my shoulder on my own. But I'm going to them first. Man, I feel like my asthma back flaring up. What's the problem? They ain't help me. That stuff didn't go away till I did some on my own. You know, so I done been burned by these professionals and specialists too many times. So it'll take for one to have to, man, it'll have to be a magical match for me to be like, all right, man, let's rock. And that's just an unfortunate reality. That could be good and or bad depending on how one sees it. But I'm not gonna be quick to I'm just not gonna be quick to say I'm about to go seek some help. That's one of the reasons I'm not doing it now. No, because like I said, I've come a long way by doing things myself. Like, I've come a long way. And I'm not even gonna say doing it myself, because I feel like therapy is a lot of different ways to undergo therapy. I feel like reading books is therapy, because I'm reading books written by therapists. You know, so instead of me just talking to somebody one-on-one, I'm reading it from the person that I would be talking to, and I'm just taking the things and I'm implementing the things. And I feel like I've made more progress in my life by taking matters into my own hand opposed to getting professional help. And that's an unfortunate reality for black folks, because no other group of people got to go through that, you know. But I feel like, especially for black men, man, a lot of us have been burned by the professional help. And that's why we just don't even bother. We don't want to waste time. We don't want to waste time, man. I wasted a lot of time, man, telling these folks what was wrong to me. And they sending me to 5 or 6 different people, and ain't nobody helping me with the actual problem that I went in here for. And now 6 months later, the problem worse. And I got another problem on top of that problem. I got tired of that cycle. I got tired of that cycle, you know. So it'll take me too. I feel like it'll take me too long at this point, man, to just find somebody that's a match. And I had to waste a lot of money. You know, I had to spend a lot of money to experiment and find folks, you know. So I'm doing what works best for me, you know, and I feel like it's working, and I feel like I'm getting better at it because I'm here on this joint revealing things and acknowledging some truth. So y'all know I didn't tapped in and had some therapy sessions with myself because I'm able to elaborate certain things with y'all. You know what I mean? I'm able to tell y'all certain things because I done tapped in. So I know some of my issues and problems. I'm getting to the root of everything. So I'm able to, you know, elaborate and verbally speak on these things because I done tapped in. I'm doing a lot of the inner work, you know, and this is going to be a process that's going to go on until I'm in my grave. I'm not going to never fully, you know, be done with that. I'm always going to be evaluating myself and tapping into my inner self and all of that type of good stuff. We always going to be in a process of doing that, you know, so I ain't never going to stop doing that. But I feel like I'm the best knower of myself, and I've helped myself better than anybody else. And I put and I'm not saying that stubbornly. I put my trust into this system and into these people. I've done it, and they have failed me. And I'm tired of being failed. I'm tired of being let down. And that's just the reality. You know, and I know a lot of brothers fit that description, fit that mold. It's unfortunate, you know, so that's why we got to create these support groups amongst one another. You know, we got to create these social circles amongst one another. You know, y'all didn't heard me get on here talk about being an introvert, hear me talking about not liking people, man. I express things. You know, I get on here and y'all even see me write things on here when people getting on my nerves, and I talk about, I type these things out. Man, that's me acknowledging my faults and flaws. I ain't perfect, man. I don't like, it's a lot of people on, like, a lot of things get on my nerves. You know, so I don't never want people to see all these books behind me, see me posting certain books about people and think I got it all figured out. Nah, this stuff still bothers me to this day, but I'm not going to be able to solve the problem until I acknowledge it. You know, so I got to acknowledge these things that's bothering me. And for some of y'all to get on there and tell me, man, you tripping. Look at it this way. You know, so that's therapy. When I get on here and I say something that's bothering me, and y'all get on here and get me to look at it in a different way, that helped me out. But if I would have kept it in, then I'm not going to grow and evolve. You know, so when I get on here and I type up something, man, I'm like, man, this person in here just talking my ears off about something that I don't care about, and somebody comes in here and say something positive, that just helped me out. That's therapy. That's therapeutic. That's therapeutic for sure. You know, so I appreciate all the folks that have done that. You know, I appreciate all the folks that tapped in and gave some positive words when I was on here not so positive. You know, I always appreciate that. That does not go unnoticed. You know, I tapped in, I noticed that, and it helps me. It checks me. You know what I'm saying? Glow for sure. And a lot of people, when I talk about that, Terenzo, what's that? A lot of people, when I talk about not liking people, a lot of people look at it like you're on your high horse, but it's like, man, nah, it ain't even about that, man. It's just, like you said, the uncivilized, man, especially when you striving to be a certain type of way and people not respecting that, and people just bringing you unnecessary negativity, unnecessary negative energy, and they know that you don't be on that, and you just start realizing the selfish nature of people and just how inconsiderate they are. Like, man, you really stop liking a lot of people when you realize how people truly are, you know, because a lot of people not tapped in So then I got to realize and accept that reality. A lot of people just ain't tapping in. A lot of people ain't doing the work. So when they not doing the work, they corrupt it. You know what I'm saying? They corrupt. So I got to accept that reality. I got to accept them for who they are and where they are at right now. You know what I'm saying? Instead of getting upset, instead of saying, man, I don't like these people. You know what I'm saying? But that's where I be at, man. I just be like, I'm sick of these people, man. Why are these people annoying me? These people get on my nerves. Like, that'd be my perspective. But I had to change that, you know? Graphic, man. I'm gonna post some, man. I'm gonna post. I just post the books, man. That's what I'm gonna do because I realize a lot of times when I start rambling the books off, you know that don't work as well as me posting them, man. So hey, be on the lookout. I definitely post some books. But man, with that being said, man, I gotta make my second smoothie the other day. Speaking of therapy, self-help, drink your smoothies, man. Get your fruits and veggies in, man. But I gotta go make my second smoothie the other day, then head back up to this gym to finish off my evening sessions, man. Get these clients, get these people in shape, because that's part of my mission too. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta get these people into shape. So I'm gonna let y'all get back to enjoying the rest of y'all Thursday, man. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate the cash apps, the donations, all that good stuff, man. Appreciate the love, the dialogue. It's always nice, peaceful, and positive. Chopping it up with y'all, man. But y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Thursday. Y'all enjoy y'all Friday as well, man. I may tap in one of the days this weekend. If not, try to get back to doing some inspirational uploads, man. But y'all be easy out here, man. I appreciate y'all. I'm out. Peace.